On this week's video, we're going to be sanding down the railings, doing any repairs that need to be done to them, and then we'll be putting a coat of oil on them. And then we're also going to be taking down the mast on the boat, and we'll be repairing the back decks. So I just started sanding down the rails and also removing. I had some pieces here that weren't attached to anything, so I'm just going to remove those, fill the holes, and then I'm tightening down all the stanchion poles, just making sure those are in good shape, but they seem pretty good, so we're just going to tighten them down. And if there's an issue with any of them, then we'll fix them as we go along. But this little section here, I got all that done. That took about 45 minutes, so I'm assuming I'll probably have a good 10 to 14 hours in sanding the deck, or sanding the rails. So I'll show you what I got done at the end of the day. Yeah, I'm going over, I'm doing a orbital sand, and then Miles is going back over it with some 220 by hand just to smooth it out. And yeah, the wood on the rails look really nice, so I think they're going to oil up beautiful. And yeah, hopefully we can get this side done today. So we've got the rails sanded, and there's a couple cracks and screw holes here that we're going to fill in with this 2-part epoxy. You want to come down and show them these, Miles? 2 close-ups, what we're going to do. So basically, just going to fill them, and we'll come back and sand all this stuff off after. This way, water won't be getting in the holes and the cracks won't get any bigger. And this stuff will sand down nicely.
I saw some over here.
So just get all these little guys. Like I said, well, after that dries, we'll come back and sand it down tomorrow. You can see this big crack here. I'm just gonna fill all that in. Alright, so we're doing another coat on the oil on the door.
That is a very squeaky. My gosh. Okay, bye.
So what I'm doing now is I got screw gun out and I'm actually taking off all these snaps because I'm not gonna, I don't know what was on there, but I'm not gonna, whatever it was, I'm not putting it back on there. So I'm just gonna fill all the holes with epoxy and then I'll sand it down before paint and we'll be good to go. I just had a little leftover epoxy for when I was filling the cracks in the railings. So I figured I'll just go up here and use the last bit up here. So we'll be good to go. After that, but we got quite a bit to do here. Yeah, there's all around, basically around every window. We got that. We got these bars here. We're gonna take off too. I don't know what they were for. I'm assuming these things were hanging on them, but they're in pretty rough shape. So I think I'm just gonna take them off, and then I'm gonna bed the windows properly so they're not gonna leak. So we won't need that stuff on there either. We're gonna take all that off and clean up the outside. So here are the little patches I did with the two-part epoxy last night. As you can see, it's all dried up nice, and we'll sand that out and see how it comes out. Sanding down these patches we did yesterday, so started on this one already, but I'll show you what we're probably do that by hand, but as you can see, that filled that in nicely. All right, Hey, so today we're putting some oil on the rails down here. We finished sanding this side, so I'm gonna put oil on this side just because it's gonna rain tomorrow and I want to get some protection on it. But basically, this is a process. Show them what we've done.
Huh? All this. So we did all of this, went all the way over to that side, and then it stops over there. But that's how much you did.
Well done.
Uh-huh.
So I got first coat of oil on the rails, which I think they're looking really nice. So that's it for today, and come back tomorrow and do some more. So I just finished up sanding the rest of the rails and filling any of the gaps with the 2-part epoxy, which so I got this whole side ready to roll. Yeah, that'll take 24 hours for the epoxy to dry, and then I'll sand that down, and then I'll put first coat on this side, and then I'll get everything tied together, and then I'll start doing coats together. But yeah, hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to finish this side up and start on the next project. So I'm up on the fly bridge, got a first coat on all the railings, so those are looking good. And now I am going to be removing this mast. As you can see, there's some rot in it right here, and it's also going to make it a lot easier to shrink wrap the boat without the mast on. Not sure if I'm going to put it back on or not, but it will be coming off, and I will save it just in case I want to put it back on. But it's a rat, so I'll show you. Basically, to take this off, I'm just going to take off these 2 stays here. Got this one here, it's attached down there, and then hit this, take that one off there, and then I should be able to drop it down and rest it on the railing down there, and disattach everything else and get it off the boat. I'll show you what it looks like once we get it down. So I was able to lower it. Now all I have to do is take this pin out here, and then this whole mast should be able to get off the boat. So that's the next step. So I pulled the green canvas off the back stern of the boat here, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull all these railings off, or handrails, and fill all the holes, and then I'm not going to put them back on. I'm going to cover this with that rubber matte teak and holly stuff. I think that'll be nice, and then it'll give us a nice little area to hang out on up there. That'll be comfy. So I'm gonna start by taking this one off. I find the best way to do this is take a little screw like this and tap it right into the center, and that will pull the plug out nice and good. And then after you do that, you can get to the screws and unscrew it. But I'll show you once I get in there. All right, as you can see, I pre-drilled little holes in there, and then let's see if this comes out easy or not. There you go. That pulled most of it out, so then we'll just clean up the rest of it. Get the rest of that out with probably a little screwdriver, and then we'll be able to get into the bolt. So as you can see, I just cut out that center piece, and I should be able to, yeah, just unscrew it. I'll sand that down and fill that with some epoxy so no water gets in there, but we'll do all these rails here. So I've taken off all the handrails and cleaned up all the holes, so I'll throw some epoxy in those. That's what we got for leftover handrails there. I had to cut them all out, but they came out pretty easy. So we'll fill all these holes. Deck does have a little bit of a soft spot on it, so I'll have to cut into that and find out what's going on with that. But I was also noticing the other day, looks like when they repaired this deck, they just put another deck on top of the deck. So unfortunately, they didn't fill in any of this stuff here, and right in here the other day when it was raining, this was all full of water. So I'll probably have to fill all this in and then redo all these railings up top and remount them all so they fit properly, and then the water can run off the deck and not have a problem with having leaks. But I think that's also why you see this crack going around the whole side. I'm assuming that's where they seamed the old deck into the new deck, because if you look in here, coming to the inside, they cut out section on the ceiling. So this is all, that's all good plywood in there. It's all pressure treated up here. So I'm thinking what happened was that was the top of the deck before, and then you had probably 3/4 inch plywood in there, and that all rotted out. So looks like they just did a quick fix on it, but I'm not going to rip it all apart and start over, so we're just going to go with what we got and make it work. So we got all these holes filled with epoxy, looking pretty good. So we'll let them dry and sand them out. Not sure if I'm going to have to, how much work I'm going to have to do to the deck over here, but figured I might as well fill the holes so no more water gets in there at least. So we stop the leaking, and then we'll figure out what we need to do for a repair where the decks are soft. But there's only a couple small soft spots, so I'm hoping that I don't have to cut this whole top off and redo it, but we'll see where we're at. Thanks for watching the video. We'll have more videos coming soon.